Thanks for the confirmation, guys. Right. So, hello everyone, and welcome to the AWS workshop. Let me introduce myself first, and then just we can get into the workshop, and we will try to understand as much as what we can in the just 1 hour or 1.5 hour workshop. So, coming to myself, Phani Krishna. Right now, I'm working as a DevOps engineer, and my current role is I'm working as a DevOps engineer and as well as a solutions architect. It's a kind of like a combination of solutions architect and as a DevOps engineer. If you ask me like, what is your, what we call that, how you came into the cloud and all the things, nobody will start their job directly as a cloud administrator or a cloud architect. And initially, I started my career as a fresher, like what we call that, into as a desktop support team, and then I moved into like a kind of a server administration, virtualization, and finally in 2014 I moved into cloud and I started working on cloud, and since then I am working as a solutions architect and as well as a DevOps engineer. I hope most of you guys have a lot of questions about why AWS, why cloud, and all these things, right? So I promise you that by end of this workshop, majority of your questions will be answered and you will get some clarity on whether to choose AWS as a career or not. And also, I will give you some idea about how a cloud computing or a cloud knowledge will boost your opportunities or a chances to get placed or to get some kind of a promotion in the job and all the things. Okay, right. So let's jump into the workshop. And today's agenda is like, what is a cloud computing? So why to use a cloud computing? What are the advantages? And what we call that, we will see some kind of a sample hands-on thing, not a big one, a basic one, like hosting a simple website using a AWS, a kind of a sample website, which is available in the internet, so that you can understand the difference between with cloud and without cloud, like how advantageous it is, how it will reduce the administrative efforts, right? So just to give you some clarity on that, I will do some kind of a simple hands-on to show you how easily we can manage the entire infrastructure or the applications. And then finally, we will discuss about like how would be the career opportunities if you are a fresher, and how will be your chances to get promoted if you are already working. Okay, right. So now, how many of you guys already working on any technology? Like you are into a development, or you are into you are working as a tester, or whatever. Okay. Now, okay, whether you're a developer, tester, that doesn't. I will give you some idea about how a cloud will help you to boost your career, like as a developer or as a tester or as an IT support engineer, right? Okay. How many of you are freshers? How many of you are freshers, or what we call that, recently completed your studies, or still you are doing the final semester or some kind of a things? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I will answer that questions also. Like, what if you have some kind of a career gap? Let us say you completed your graduation into like, let us say in 2020 or 2021, and the last 2 years you are not doing anything, and you are, or some kind of like you had some kind of experience, like a 2 years experience, and then you had like 1 year gap, and then again you are trying to get a new job. I will answer all these questions. Don't worry. Okay, right. The first question: why you have interest on AWS? Is there any reason like just your friend said like go and learn AWS, or you have some kind of research that and you came to know that AWS has some kind of good opportunities? What is the reason? There must be some reason, right? Nobody will learn anything, or nobody will have some kind of what do you call that, about any technology or something. Okay, I'm getting pretty uh, different answers, like my friend suggested, or cloud is the future. Okay, right. So majority of the answers, what I'm getting is cloud is the future. Cloud is the future. Like in the future, the cloud will be more and more popular. But the question is why? There must be some reason, right? If something is getting popular, there must be some reason why the cloud is getting popular. Why the cloud is more popular right now. Okay, so I got kind of an answer, like I'm trying to switch my job and I'm having some kind of like 2+ years of experience as a Java developer. But even though I'm a developer, many companies are asking AWS as a skill set. So being a developer, why cloud is mandatory or why cloud is required? That's also a thing, right? That's why I said in the starting of the workshop, I said, whether you are a developer, whether you are a tester, or whether you are something else, cloud is going to be a mandatory skill set. Cloud is going to be a mandatory skill set. The reason that we will try to understand in the today's workshop. Okay, so before cloud, okay, what exactly the cloud is? What is the meaning of a cloud? Anybody? Whether you are giving a wrong answer, that doesn't care. Nobody is here to judge you, right? Whether you are saying the correct or wrong. Even though it is a wrong answer, you have to speak up so that you will understand what might be the correct thing and what might be the wrong. That is important in the learning phase. Whether you are going to learn on your own or whether you are going to learn by some kind of guidance, right? You have to try in a different ways. Then only you can succeed in learning the things. Okay, what is a cloud? So I got one answer like data storage, but that's not the correct answer. But data storage is one part in the small part in the cloud. Can you guess what is the cloud? Anybody? Don't hesitate to use the chat box. Okay, you can open up the chat box and you can type in answers. Nobody will charge you for typing a message in the chat box. Okay. And even if you're giving a wrong answer also, I'm not saying your name, right? I'm not mentioning the name that who sent what answer. So freely you can send your answers and your answers are not visible to others, right? So that's why I'm repeating whatever the answers I'm getting in the chat box. Okay, I got something interesting, a collection of servers. Okay, on-demand service, data storage. Okay, but bits and pieces, whatever you are saying is correct. Whatever you are saying is correct in bits and pieces, but altogether, that is not the correct definition or not the correct purpose of the cloud. Okay, let me tell you what exactly the cloud is in a simple statement. I'm not going to use a kind of a technical definitions, because if I start using the technical names and technical definitions now, half of the people will drop their what we call that will or drop their mind to learn the AWS. Let us try to understand in a general way, like how you can speak with your friend, how you can discuss with your friends, right? In a normal words. In the same way, let us try to understand what is the cloud and why it is necessary. Cloud is someone else's computer. Cloud is someone else's computer, which means someone is going to maintain a computer or a machine and you are going to use that. Again, it looks like something complicated, right? Let us make it simple. Let us make it simple. I think everybody is using some kind of a Google Drive, right? How many of you don't know about a Google Drive? Just raise your hand if you don't know what is a Google Drive. I hope everybody might know what is a Google Drive, right? So by using the Google Drive, you can store some data. Okay. For some time, keep that Google Drive aside. So you are having a laptop and you have some kind of important photos, videos, which you have taken while you are on a trip, right? And you have to store all the data in a safe place so that in the future, you might go through the pics to recollect the memories and all the things. Generally, what we do, we need to purchase the hard disk, right? Some kind of external hard disk or a CD, DVD, pen drives. All these are storage options, right? You have to purchase one drive or a hard disk. You can copy all the data into the storage. So that hard disk is a storage service. In this example, you are going to purchase or you are going to procure your own infrastructure to store all your data. Whereas in the cloud means you are not going to purchase the hard disk. Someone will buy it and someone will maintain somewhere, and you are going to use that particular hard storage to store your data. The best example is the Google Drive. We are nowhere connected with purchasing that Google Drive's storage space. Google will purchase a huge amount of storage and they are maintaining somewhere in US or somewhere else, and they are providing that storage as a service over the internet. And we are, as an end user, we are utilizing that storage to store your data. This is the perfect example of a cloud in a better way. But that is, I'm not saying that is only the cloud. That is an example of a cloud with a storage option. So, but in the real time, the companies won't use the cloud only to store the data, right? They do have a lot of requirements, lot of use cases. Let us try to understand why the cloud is necessary. In a shorter statement, I can say cloud will provide you everything what you need. Everything is available in the cloud, whatever we need, which means we don't purchase any servers, we don't purchase any hardware, we don't purchase any networking devices like cables, switches, routers, nothing we purchase and nothing we manage. Everything will be maintained and managed by the cloud provider. Cloud provider means who is offering you the cloud services. We are calling them as a cloud provider. So we must know the advantages of the cloud, right? Based on the advantages only, we can decide whether to use the cloud or not. For some time, assume that there is no cloud in the market. Assume that there is no cloud in the market and you are working for a company. Okay, let me ask you one thing. Can someone please confirm that? Are you guys able to see my screen? Can you guys see my screen? Like a kind of AWS web page? Yes, okay, right. If there is no cloud, assume that you are working for a company and there is no cloud available in the market. And your company is having a requirement to host a simple website. Your company wants to host a simple website. The website is going to be a PHP website. The website is going to be a PHP website. Now, what are the things we need to run a PHP website? How to run a PHP website? Let us say in the market, google.com is there, yahoo.com is there, right? Something is getting maintained in the backend so that we are able to access that website, right? Okay. So what are the things we need in order to run a website is, first thing, first we need to procure a server. Server is nothing but a kind of a computer, right? Your laptop, desktop, but the server will have the better resources, which will give you better performance. That is the difference. And whenever you purchase a server, what exactly you will get? It will get some kind of a CPU, RAM, right? And you will have a storage. These are the things you will get once you are purchasing a computer. But it is not yet usable. What we have to do in order to make that machine usable, the computer usable, you have to provide a power supply. You have to provide a power supply, and you need to provide a network connection, like a kind of internet, right? And then any computer cannot be used without an operating system. Assume that you purchased a brand new laptop without any operating system. Can you use your laptop without an operating system? You cannot, right? You cannot use the operating system, sorry, you cannot use the machine without an operating system. So you have to install the operating system manually. So you're responsible to install the operating system and to configure the operating system. It can be a Windows, or it can be a Linux, or it can be a Mac OS. It doesn't matter. If it is a Windows, we have a different versions, right? Like in your laptop, you have a Windows 11, Windows 10, Windows 8, Windows 7, and so on. In the same way, in the Windows, we have a server operating systems also. They will give you more features, the architecture will be different, and so on. Okay. Then, once you install the operating system, you need to have a software to be installed. What software? To run the website, it requires a software called a web server. It requires a web server, that is called as a software. Example, to run a PHP website, it requires Apache web server. To run a Java website, it requires Tomcat server. To run a .NET website, it requires IIS web server, right? And if your website requires a database, you have to install the database, and you need to configure the database also, like Oracle database, MySQL database, right? Or it can be a Microsoft SQL, PostgreSQL, MariaDB, whatever the database, you have to install and you have to manage. On top of that, so the website is available to you in the form of code. Who will design the code? The developers will write the code, and they will prepare the website, web pages, and they will give it to you. And you are responsible to place the code on the web server. You are responsible to place the code on the web server. So if you observe here, to run a small website, you need to purchase a server. Let us say the server might cost you, let us say 2 lakhs to 3 lakhs, a small server. A small server might cost like 2 lakhs to 3 lakhs. And to maintain the hardware. So in this, CPU, RAM, storage, that is the hardware part, right? And the power supply, networking, all these things are called as infrastructure. All these called as an infrastructure. And whenever you are using the physical things over a period of time, there is a possibility that they might not work. They might get crashed, or they might get burnt. Let us say CPU. CPU might get burnt due to power fluctuations or whatever it is. Storage, hard disk might get corrupted because of over a period of usage. And to handle all these things, you need a separate team. But whenever you are running a website, so here the website is running, and the users like you and me, they can access the website using their browsers in their laptop. Like you can open the Google Chrome and you can type the website name, like something called abc.com or something, and they can access the website. So here, the basic rule is whenever you are maintaining a website, the website must be available 24 by 7, 365 days, right? If you check the Gmail, you can wake up in the midnight like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. and if you type gmail.com, the Gmail server will be up and running. I mean, the Gmail server is accessible. If you type yahoo.com, yahoo.com is accessible at any point of time, which means this particular website must be highly available. The website must be highly available. Highly available means at any given point of time, the website is available to access. If it is shut down, if you shut down your computer, the website is not accessible. So in order to maintain the website which you are running in your office, the entire thing we are discussing with respect to the infrastructure is in your office, and that we call it as on premise, on premises or on premise, which means this is not in the cloud and it is in your office. In order to maintain, the website is accessible 24 by 7, 365 days, or in other words, it should be highly available. You have some responsibilities. What are those responsibilities are? Let me write down those responsibilities with a different color. Okay. So here, this is the web server software and database is a software. What if the web server software is not running? The website is not accessible. If the web server software is not running, the website code will not accessible. The website is not accessible to the end user. In order to maintain this web server software to be up and running, you have to maintain a team called application team. You have to maintain a team called application team who is going to take care of that web server application. And to maintain the database software, you have to maintain a database admin team. And for operating system maintenance, you have to maintain server administration, or we can say IT team. We can say IT team who is going to take care of operating systems, monthly security patchings. Windows updates will be there, right? They will take care of all the things. And for the storage, you have to maintain a storage team. We call them as the storage administrators. And a CPU and RAM, we can say hardware team. Because whenever the CPU got failed, they need to replace the CPU or they need to make the server up and running. These are not only the essential things. Most important thing is the power supply. What if there is a power cut? What if there is a power cut? Your server will be shut down. So to maintain the continuous power supply, you are responsible to maintain a redundant power supply. Redundant power supply. What is the meaning of a redundant power supply? An alternative power supply. First one is a regular power supply, which you can get from the substation, power station, and all the things. And then you are responsible to maintain a backup in the sense a UPS, right? But the UPS will never give you enough backup. What if there is a power cut, power failure for due to some kind of natural calamities like floods, earthquake, or something? Then you need to maintain a power generator. And to manage this one, you have to maintain a separate electrical team also, right? To maintain the connections, to monitor and all the things. And then to maintain the network, you are supposed to maintain a network admin team also. And you have to maintain all these teams 24 by 7, like in 3 different shifts or at least in 2 different shifts. Each shift 12 hours and so on. Just to run a small website, Are you ready to spend a huge amount of money? Initially, to purchase the server, you have to spend a lot of money, like 2 lakhs minimum. In the worst case, it should be a 2 lakhs for a simple server. Then to install the operating system maintenance, you need to maintain the IT team. And to install the softwares, database softwares, configuring the database and all the things, again, you have to maintain respective teams. So by overall, your initial investment, your initial investment will be very high. Initial investment will be very high if you have chosen to run your applications in the office, that is called as on premise. In this case, the cloud came into the picture, and what they are doing is they are providing different types of cloud services. For this use case, they are providing you a service called platform as a service. In the cloud, this is one type of a service, platform as a service. What is the meaning of a platform as a service? So whatever I am highlighting in the yellow color, that is going to be the platform to run your website. This is going to be the platform to run your website. And what they are going to do, they will offer you this particular platform so that you can use that platform to run your website. Just simply you have to upload your web pages or the application code, and your application will be up and running. That's it. Everything will be maintained and managed by AWS or whatever the cloud they are offering you, that kind of a service. In this case, you can ignore the application team, you can ignore database team, you can ignore IT, you can ignore everything. Just you need to maintain the developer who is going to take care of the designing the website and all the things. Instead of these maintaining these many teams, you can maintain just one person who knows a basic idea about all these things, like how to create, how to choose the platform, like what web server to be used. That's the main advantage of the cloud. What is the main advantage? You can reduce the initial investment. First advantage is we can reduce the initial investment. That is also called as TCO, total cost of ownership. What is the meaning of that is to create the platform or to procure the platform to run your application, the total cost to be a owner of the platform is very, very high in the case of on-premise. On-premises means if you are maintaining everything in your office without a cloud. But in the cloud, no need to pay any advance amount, no need to purchase the hardware. Just they will charge you based on how much you are using, how many resources you are using. For that, you have to pay on a monthly basis. So the first important thing is total cost of ownership. This is not the only advantage. I'm going to give you another example in which you can get the very important advantage of the cloud computing and the reason why most of the companies are moving the cloud. Okay, right. So as of now, are you guys clear or any questions with the first advantage? Do you guys clear or any questions? Just feel free to ask me if you have any questions. And anyways, after completing this also, I will give you a time where you can ask me the questions and I will answer your questions. So the main goal is you have to get some idea about what is a cloud and is it necessary to learn. That's it. That is what I'm going to try to explain. Okay, right. Then coming to the second advantage. Coming to the second advantage. Okay, I got a question like, I got a message in the chat box that after seeing all these things, but cloud is not secure. That is what I got, the message in the chat box. whatever the statement you have mentioned, that is not true. If the cloud is not secure, nobody will use it. If the cloud is not secure, nobody will use it. Any cloud, you can take any cloud, they are providing you the best possible security. If you have some what we call some impression that the cloud is not secure, that's because of our mistakes. That's because of our mistakes. I will give you a simple thing. I will give a simple example. Let us say you have a house, right? And you have fitted with like what we call that uh, best in the class doors, locking mechanism, and all the things. And you feel the house is very secured and nobody can enter into your house without any permission, right? But what if you left the house without locking the door? What if you leave the house without locking the door? There is no use of best in the class technology, security measures, and all the things. The same way with the cloud. If you don't secure, then your data will be at risk. If you configure all the security options as per the best practices, your data will be at secure. The data will be secure. They are providing a different types of security. Data at rest encryption, in transit encryption, right? If you think, if you think as we are storing the data in someone's computer, because of that, the data is not secure, that doesn't mean we are storing the data in some random person's hard drive. Whatever the cloud provider is offering you these services, they are undergoing auditing every year. They are compliant with multiple industry standard security measures. A third party will audit, okay, and they will provide the cloud provider with a certificate that they are maintaining everything as per the compliance, which means they will never open your data and they will never see. In the same way, everybody is using Gmail, right? Where all your emails are getting stored? Do you think in your laptop all the mails are getting stored? No, in the Google server, which means we are using someone's server to store our emails. Do you think your emails are not secure? No, right? The same way, they do have some kind of industry standards in which even their employees will not get access to see your data. Okay, right. Now, to understand the next advantage, the most important advantage of the cloud, let us go with one more example, a simple example. So you are working for a company as a IT administrator, okay? And in your company, you are having what we call that multiple teams. Let us say developers, there are five members developers are there. And there is a QE team with 15 people, 15 size of QE. QE means testing team. And there is a support team with just three people, and HR team, finance team. They have like, let us say, two finance team, let us say one employee. So total employees in your organization are, let us say, 26. Okay. And we can ignore these two because they are nowhere related with software development and all the things. And what is the role of the developers? They will write the code and they will build the applications. What is the role of the QE team? They will test the applications designed by the developers, right? The job of the QE team is to test the product designed by the developers. Support team means once the product has been sold to the clients, if someone purchases your product, the support team will provide the services, right? If they got some issues, they will help you. Now, coming to this, in your organization, there is no cloud. Just I'm talking about the on-premises. In your organization, there are 15 servers available already. 1, 2, and so on. up to 15 servers used by the testing team. Used by the testing team. They are working for some kind of a project, and your company got a new project, like that project is a testing project only, and that project only for 7 days. That has to be started immediately, and that testing to be completed within 7 days. And these 15 servers are used for existing projects. They are used for existing projects. Now you got a new project, and this has to be started from Monday. This work has to be started from Monday. And as per the estimations, to complete the project in the 7 days, this new project requires 7 new servers. Then only the project will be completed within 7 days. But the problem is, from these 15 servers, you cannot use for the new project, because all these existing 15 servers are used for the existing project, and that work should not be stopped. Then what you have to do? Within 1 day, you need 7 new servers to provide the infrastructure to start the new project. So how can you get that? And the project only lasts for 7 days. So here there are two problems. There are two problems. One is, would you like to invest huge amount of money only for 7 days work? You cannot, right? You cannot spend huge money just for 7 days. If the project is like for over a period of 1 year, 2 years, then you can invest some money and you can get the servers. First thing is, you have to invest a huge money only for 7 days. The second thing is, the second problem here is, can you purchase 7 servers within 1 day? That is not a laptop or desktop. Like you can go to in Hyderabad, we have a CTC, right? Like you can go to CTC and you can get a laptop. So first, you have to get a quotation as per the industry standards. First, you need to get a quotation from the vendor, like how much a price they are quoting you and all the things. Then the quotation has to be approved, and your finance team will release a purchase order. Then after releasing the purchase order, the vendor, like it can be a Dell or it can be HP or it can be something else, they will take 3 to 4 weeks of time to deliver the products to your office. 3 to 4 weeks of time, minimum 3 weeks, because they need to assemble the product in their warehouse, and that has to be distributed from the warehouse. Minimum 3 weeks, but that has to be completed within 1 week, right? So in the on-premise, you cannot increase the capacity as per your requirement instantly. You need to wait a lot of time, and you will be wasting the time. But in the cloud, we have highly scalable infrastructure. Cloud will provide you highly scalable infrastructure, which means within few minutes, you can increase the capacity of your resources. Like right now, we have a 15 servers, right? Just within few minutes, you can increase this 15 to 25 servers. It won't take much time. Just you need to decide how much CPU you need, how much RAM you need, and how much storage you need. Along with these, you need to choose operating system, like whether it is a Windows or Linux. Once you select all the things, in less than 5 minutes, the new servers will be created and ready to use. After 7 days, you are done with your project and you don't need these servers, right? The newly created servers, you can delete. So how many days we have used the new servers, like the extra 10 servers? Just we use it for 7 days. So you will be charged only for the 7 days. There is no minimum contract time, like you have to use minimum for 1 year or minimum for 1 month and so on. How many hours you have used, the cloud will charge you for those many hours only, which means you can utilize the resources in an effective way with lowest possible charges. You can increase the number of servers or you can reduce the number of servers as per the requirement. This is the second advantage. And the one more advantage is I can say location independent, location independent resource pooling. Location independent resource pooling. What is this? Let us say I have a small office. I have a small office in India. So all my servers are located in the India only. It can be Hyderabad or it can be a Mumbai or Bangalore. That doesn't matter. Now I got a new project from a client, and the client is located in India. In US, and they like my company and the way how we are doing the services and all the things, and they gave me a project. They gave me a project, but one condition is the client's data must not be located outside of the United States. As per their organization rules or a policy or compliancy rules, they don't want to store the data outside of United States. Even in India also, we do have some rules like the bankings, like State Bank, HDFC Bank, whatever the organizations into the financial sector or financial institutions, they are not supposed to store the data outside of India as per the RBI guidelines, which means these companies have to maintain the servers within India only. Within India only. In the same way, this client's data must be located in US. Then what I have to do? I need to travel to US and I need to start a branch office here, right? I need to open a branch office here. Then I need to purchase servers and then I can store all the data here and I can access the data by storing the data in the US itself, which means I need to spend a huge amount to set up an office, even though it is not required. And I need to purchase servers and all the things. This can be overcome with the help of a cloud. How we can overcome this is using location independent resource pooling. Irrespective of in which location you are in right now, you can create the servers anywhere across the globe. You can create the servers anywhere across the globe because everything is a cloud. Cloud providers maintain their data centers. Data center means, in our layman's term, a server room in which all the servers, storage are maintained. The cloud providers maintain their data centers across the globe. In India, they have multiple data centers. In US, they do have multiple. UK, multiple, or what we call that. In every location, they are maintaining the data centers. If I want to store the data in the Europe geographical location, I can choose the location as a Europe and I will create my server so that my server will be created in the Europe. And whatever the servers we create in the cloud, they are accessible from anywhere across the globe. If they are not accessible, there is of no use, right? So your server will be physically located in the US and you can access from India and you can access that from China or you can access that from Singapore. So these are the primary advantages. And now, why the AWS is popular? And any of you know any other cloud providers other than AWS? Can you mention few clouds like AWS available in the market? Any idea? So we know AWS because you came for the AWS workshop. So obviously you might know what is a AWS. Then we have a Google Cloud. Google Cloud Platform, and we have Azure, and there is something called Ali-Yen, which is Alibaba Cloud. There is Oracle. Oracle have their own cloud. These are the populars, right? Apart from these, we have a lot of clouds like Control S, Bluehost, Rackspace, or GoDaddy. These are also clouds, but we cannot compare with these things. Yeah, IBM. These all are the cloud providers. These all are the cloud providers. But out of all these, the most popular clouds are AWS, Google Cloud, and Azure. These three are most popular right now in the market. And if you write down and in order from most popular to least popular out of these three, the most popular as of now is AWS, and the second place is for Azure, and the third place is for Google Cloud Platform. Whenever AWS is popular, it will have more opportunities. Why? The reason is, if it is a popular means most of the companies are using AWS. So there will be a more job. I'm not saying that these two are not pop organization. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying like the Azure and Google Cloud is used by any company. I'm not saying that. What I'm trying to say is AWS captured the majority of the market. I think almost 42% of the cloud market is in the AWS. Azure is having approximately like a 25%. GCP is about like 10 plus percentage. Do you know why? Do you know the reason why AWS has more market share in the cloud? Any guess? Any guess that why the AWS is widely used in the market? There are multiple reasons. The first reason is it is the oldest cloud. It is launched in 2006. In the year 2006, AWS is launched for the public. And from then, AWS is adding more and more services into the cloud platform. If you check the AWS, you can find out the regular services like servers, storage, okay, servers, storage, load balancers, databases. These are the regular things, right? Apart from that, you can see blockchain technology related cloud, robotic technology, robotics related thing, Internet of Things, game development, satellite technology. For all these things, appropriate services are available in the AWS. Whenever someone is offering you the more features, obviously that will become a popular, right? And already you are aware that the cloud is more popular right now, right? But in the future, in the next coming few years, that demand will grow exponentially. The demand will grow exponentially. Like you can't see like ups and downs. It will go exponentially like this. The reason is because of these many advantages, majority of the companies are migrating to the cloud. Migrating to the cloud means if they are using 20 servers in the office to avoid the maintenance and what we call that maintaining multiple teams, they are planning to maintain those servers in the cloud. Still 10% of the companies are not yet migrated. Almost like just 10% of the servers move to cloud. Still, there is a scope for the remaining 90% companies to use the cloud. That's why in the future, there will be more demand for the cloud. Okay. While we are discussing about this, I got a question like which language is required for AWS? You don't need any language. like C, Java, .NET. That's not required. If you are a developer, just to develop your code, you need to have the coding, the language. But for AWS, we don't need any coding skills. Now the question, why we must learn cloud? So the next question might be, I'm expecting the next immediate question from you guys. I'm working as a developer or I'm working as a tester. So why should I learn AWS? I don't create servers, I don't maintain the servers, right? But why should I learn AWS? The reason is, if let us say you are a Java developer, assume that you are a Java developer. While all the companies are moving to the cloud, obviously you have to run your Java application in the cloud, which means you need to write the application with respect to the cloud architecture. Being a solutions architect, I can design the AWS cloud, I can maintain all the servers and everything. Okay. But you should know what is available in the cloud. Without knowing that, you cannot design your application, right? For that reason, even you are going to be a developer, you must have a cloud understanding, cloud skill set. That's why nowadays, if you are going for any job description, they are looking for at least you need to have intermediate to what we call that a basic to intermediate level coding skills. Basic to intermediate level coding skills. And if you are a tester, so what is your job? Just you have to test the product is working as per the requirement or not. If the product is running on the cloud, you have to know how to use the cloud, because the product has to be installed on a server. If your organization is using the cloud, then you need to launch your server, which won't take much time, just 4 minutes or 5 minutes of time. And what service to use to launch the server, installing the product. For that purpose, you need to have some basic skills of the cloud. That's the reason, irrespective of your technology or irrespective of your job, always it is recommended to have some kind of cloud knowledge. It can be AWS or it can be Azure or it can be a Google Cloud. But Google Cloud is not that much popular yet, right? Okay, the next question. If I learn AWS, can I manage other clouds also? If I learn AWS and if I master the AWS, if I complete every service, whatever is required for the real time, can I manage Azure or Google Clouds also? Yes, 100%. Because the concept is the same. The terminology will be different. In AWS, we will say EC2 instance, which is nothing but a server in the cloud. The same thing in the Azure, we call it as a virtual machine. Concept is same. The use case is the same. The purpose is the same. Just the terminology is different. The same virtual machine in Google Cloud, we call it as compute engine. Just the terminology is different. The concept is the same. So that's why if you learn AWS, you can manage any other clouds with ease. I mean, easy for you to manage. I don't say you will become a master in Azure or you will become a master in Google Cloud, but you will get enough skills to manage the other clouds, which is required for the real-time experience. Okay. So we discussed a lot of things, but few guys might have a question like, what are the biggest companies or what is the largest companies which are using AWS cloud? Can you name few? Can you mention at least one or two companies who are using AWS? Yeah, Netflix. Netflix is the video streaming company. Like they are hosting their Netflix application on the AWS cloud. Yeah, Zomato. Then Disney Hotstar, Prime Video, is all are hosting on the cloud. Okay, keeping these video streaming sites aside, can you mention some games hosted on AWS cloud? This one, Call of Duty, right? Fortnite. These are using AWS. I will tell you what we call that. I will tell you the importance of the AWS with one incident recently happened. Recently, in the sense, it's been like almost like 1 year, but for me, it's a recent. So, how many of you know about the video streaming platform called AHA? I think everybody might know, right? So, in which we can watch the videos. So, this AHA, they will maintain one server, right? And they will load all the videos here, and the users can view the videos from the server. Like whenever you're watching a movie, that will be loaded from the server. And this server might be designed, let's say this server is designed to handle 1,000 users at a time. 1,000 users at a time. What if suddenly this particular server is getting 10,000 users? Like a new movie got launched, a super hit movie got uh, launched in that AHA platform. Then what will happen? Whenever the 10,000 people are trying to access 10,000 people are trying to access the AHA platform, this server cannot manage those many requests at a time, and it will go to 100%, and the AHA application will get crashed. That is the problem if you are maintaining the servers in your office, which is called as on premises. Recently, the same thing happened with AHA app. Do you know that? Like the show, talk show Unstoppable, season went well. But whenever this episode, the Prabhas episode announced and it was launched, the entire application crashed for few hours. They increased the resources manually, and then they launched it. And then they launched it, right? Why the AHA application got crashed whenever that particular episode got launched? The reason is more people try to watch that episode, and the server couldn't handle that much traffic. If the same scenario happens, if the server is running in the AWS cloud, there is a feature called Autoscaling. Autoscaling, there is a feature. What it will do is, whenever there is a heavy load, automatically it will increase the capacity of your servers, and it will provide you the best performance. And whenever there is no load, automatically it will reduce the capacity to save the money, because always you will be charged based on how many CPUs you are using, how much RAM you are using, and how much storage you are using. So this is the best example to meet high performance and high availability. Okay, right. Because of these many advantages, almost every company is planning to migrate. In other words, planning to move their infrastructure into the cloud. So after learning the AWS, what exactly we are going to do is, or what exactly we are going to learn is, we are going to maintain infrastructure in the cloud. Let us say there will be an IT team in your office. What is their purpose? What is their job? What is the purpose of the team? They will create the new servers, they will maintain the new servers, they will create the network, they will make sure that the communication is happening between all the servers, right? The same thing we do in the cloud. And they call us as solutions architect. We are going to design the infrastructure in the cloud. On what basis we will create the infrastructure is to meet the high availability, to meet high reliability, to meet high scalability, and all the things. and along with high security, which means if something went wrong due to some network issue, due to some kind of hardware issue, even in the such worst cases, your application will never goes down. We will maintain a secondary thing. Whenever the primary fails, the secondary will provide the service. Everyone, what we call that? Automatically, whenever the primary goes down, the secondary will provide the service. So high availability is possible. In the worstest case, what if primary and secondary both got crashed? In that case, we will configure some kind of automatic backups. From the automatic backups, we can recover all the data without losing a single file. Without losing a single file. All right. Okay. And do we have what are the prerequisites to learn AWS? What are the prerequisites to learn AWS? No prerequisites, just you need to have knowledge on how to use a computer. That's it. You need to have some information or some knowledge about how to use a computer. And to learn AWS, does it require a high-end computer? No, nothing at all. The reason is cloud means not in your laptop, right? So we don't install or we don't configure anything in our laptop. Everything will be in the cloud. Just we need a laptop to communicate with the cloud. I will show you how the cloud platform looks like, and we will create some kind of one website also. I will download one sample website from the internet, right? And I will show you how to host it with just a few steps. But I don't explain it, just to show you the advantage of the cloud. I will create it because to explain it, it will take 1 hour time. Just I will show you how easily we can run a simple websites. Okay, and while you are learning the AWS, you must have a practical knowledge. After attending the theories, you might forget about that within 1 week or one month. Whether you are learning on your own or whether you are learning by joining in a session, whatever the way of learning, practicals are mandatory. Practicals are mandatory. You have to do the practicals multiple times. First time and second time, you can do the practicals by seeing the steps. The third time and fourth time, you have to do on your own without checking the procedure. And the most important thing is, while you are doing the practicals, you have to understand each and every option, why you are selecting this option and why you are not selecting this option. What will happen if I choose this option, or what will happen if I don't choose this option? These kind of questions you have to ask yourself. If you don't do that, you can't learn any technology, not only AWS. If you don't think in that way, if you are following the steps blindly, whatever provided to you by your trainer, you don't get the concept, which is not useful in the real time. So you have to understand in multiple ways while you are learning. Anyways, whether you are going to enroll for AWS sessions in the Naresh IT or not, that doesn't matter. The reason is, while I started my learning phase, in those days we don't have those that much what we call that materials or that much information in the internet. We struggled a lot, but now there is a lot of information available in the internet, but we don't know how to use it, we don't know how to utilize it, right? And recently I came across some experience, like I have seen a lot of groups, WhatsApp groups and Telegram groups in the internet. The group's name will be like kind of AWS, DevOps, Python, and so on. I thought of like in that group, there might be some discussion happening about like whoever is planning to learn or whoever is already working, they're going to share the experiences, right? I thought in that way and I joined in one group just to share my knowledge or to help someone if they have some questions. But unfortunately, I ended up with leaving the Telegram. The reason is I have I'm a part of that group for 1 month or so, but I never seen any discussions or any questions. Only thing is like a forwarded messages. So then I decided to create one Telegram group, right? Recently I created, and I will take this opportunity, this situation, and I will share the Telegram group link in the chat box. If you guys are interested only to learn, just to share your questions, or while you're doing something, if you need some guidance, right? You can join in that Telegram group. But I will assure you that you won't get any kind of spam messages or anything. If someone do spamming in that group, he will be automatically blocked and he will be removed. That's a kind of a platform where you can meet like-minded people, like who is already working on AWS or who is going to learn AWS, and they can share their knowledge and you can ask the questions and all the things. Okay. And also I will share my email ID and my Telegram username also. If you have any questions, or if you want to get some guidance, or if you got stuck with some kind of a confusion, just feel free to reach me. Okay, I can help you out. I will share those details in some time, right? In the meanwhile, what I do is I will show you how AWS is advantage, or how quickly we can host a simple website. Generally, to run a website, we need to have something called a web server and all the things. But here, what I'm going to do is just I will show you a website. Okay, this is the website. Website pages I received from a kind of internet. Some developer designed it. So here, these are the web page files, the HTML website. And how the website looks like is, if I open this index.html, that is going to be my homepage. So this is how my website looks like. But you can't access. The reason is the website is located in my laptop. So my laptop is not accessible from outside. So what you have to do, you need to purchase a server, you need to provide internet connection, you need to install a web server, and then you need to host a website. Now, what I do is I will show you how quickly we can host that website without purchasing a server and without installing a web server. So this is my AWS account. And if you see, let me give you a quick overview of the AWS account also. Here you can see some services, right? Can you see these many services are available? If you click on analytics, you can see these many services. If you see database, these many databases are available. And game development, Internet of Things, machine learning, artificial intelligence related, and robotics, satellite, quantum technologies. This will be the future, obviously. In the next 5-10 years, the quantum technologies will have the bright future, but not right now, after 5-10 years. So these many services we have. That's the reason that's also a reason why AWS is most popular. Okay. Now what I do is I will show you how quickly we can host a simple website, right? So for that, I will use a service called S3 because my website is a static website, fixed website. It doesn't have any server-side scripting like PHP, Node.js, and so on. So I will use a simple storage. Let me do something. So I can say my website, some name. I'm not explaining any options why I'm selecting all these things and everything, because it requires minimum one hour time. Just I will show you how quickly we can host a website. Okay, so let me upload the web pages. Everything is ready. Just I need to upload the web pages and I need to enable. And I will share the website link also, and anybody can access from anywhere across the globe. There is no restriction. But to run the same website, We need to procure a server. We need to install the web server. If it requires a database, you need to install the database server. Everything you have to. Just you need to upload it, enable the website hosting, just with a simple click. That's it. Just wait. It is uploading, which will take a few seconds of time. Okay, while it is getting uploaded, yeah, it got uploaded, right? So once it got uploaded, what I do is I will enable website hosting. Anyways, in the AWS, we have to learn all these features one by one. Yes, everything is ready. And Amazon generated one random website name for my website. Amazon generated one random website name. I will share that URL in the chat box also. You guys can check it. See here. Now it is hosted on AWS. So let me share that. Okay, let me sending you that in the chat box. You can test from anywhere. You can access that website. If you click on that link, you can see this page, and every page will work. The way how the website designed, how easy it is to host a simple website on AWS instead of hosting the website in your office server or something. You might have a question, why the website URL looks like this? My company name is ABC, so I need abc.com as my website name. Yes, that is also possible. For that, you have to register a domain name. You have to purchase. In a regular words, we can say you need to purchase the domain name like google.com, yahoo.com. Then the same website can be accessible using your own website name. Technically, the website name is called as a domain name. Google.com, yahoo.com. These all are a domain names. Okay, right. So just give me a second. Let me share the details also. Let me share the details first. Then we can take up the questions from you guys. Okay, because while we are having the questions, you guys can note down the details like my email ID and all the things, which is like if you have any questions or if you need any kind of a guidance, just you can reach me out so that I can help you. Okay, all right. Just give me a second. Give me a second, guys. Let me get the details for you. And this group is like a regular public group. This is nowhere related to anything, just a regular group. Just I'm sharing in the chat box. And let me share here also. Let me copy paste. You guys can get that. You can copy paste from the chat box. And my Telegram user, like that is, this is the one. Directly, you can send me a message if you have any question. If you search that in the Telegram, you can see my name like Ponnam Phani Krishna. And if you have any question related to the AWS, any kind of a question related to the AWS, you can ask me. Okay, right. Now, if you have any questions, just you can ask me now. Any kind of a question related to the AWS. Okay, can learn like what we call that out of AWS and DevOps. Which one to learn first? Those two are independent. Those two are independent. They are not related with each other. So you can learn AWS first, start the AWS, get familiarized with. After like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, just we can start the DevOps also. Okay, so you are already working as a desktop support with the 4 years of experience, right? And you completed AWS and DevOps. Okay, so don't apply as a fresher because already you have a 4 years of experience, right? So don't apply as a fresher. You can apply as an experienced only, and you can say you are working as a DevOps. Sorry, you are working as a desktop. You are working at desktop support team, and you trained on AWS and DevOps, and you will handle AWS related things as part of your desktop support. Sometimes in your organization, you what do you call that? You handle that also. Just that's enough. Just update the resume in that way. That will be helpful for you. Right. So the next question is this course helpful in getting certifications? If yes, what level of certification we can attend after completing this course? So actually from tomorrow onwards, so we are going to start a new batch on AWS, right? In the morning, 8:30 a.m. I'm not sure whether you know it or not. From tomorrow onwards, we are going to start the demos. Tomorrow is going to the first demo for the actual AWS batch. So whatever the topics we are going to cover, that is 100% aligned with solutions architect associate level certification. But the same topics applicable for the professional level certification also. That is also applicable for the professional level. But the way how the questions you will get in the professional level certification is different. That requires real-time work experience. Without having a real-time experience, you cannot pass the professional level certification, even though the topics are same. But for associate level certification, yeah, you can go with the associate level certification for 100%. Okay, if you join in a company and if okay, you join in a company, but after 20 to 25 days, they terminate because you don't have a hands-on experience. What is the meaning of hands-on experience? That's what I said earlier, right? That's what I said earlier. So if you don't have a practical experience, what with the topics, whatever we are going to learn in the classes, right? The topics what we are going to cover with that, definitely you can acquire minimum 2 to 3 years of experience. 2 to 3 years of experience. Like if a 2 to 3 years of AWS guy, whatever he knows, the same thing you can know if you do the practicals on dot. So in the AWS, okay, likewise in the developers in the AWS, you don't see any kind of a project. The reason is being a AWS solutions architect, you have to design the infrastructure. That is the going to be the project, right? What is the difference between the cloud computing and the AWS? AWS is a cloud. Cloud computing is a general terminology, right? General, like what do you call that? Operating system. In the operating system, we have Windows, we have Linux, we have a Mac. What is the difference between Windows 7 and operating system? Same. Cloud computing is the technology. Under the cloud computing, we are having AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, and so on. Okay. So you guys will receive if you are interested to join for the batch which is about to start tomorrow, you guys will receive what we call that a link. Don't worry, okay? The in which you can join and you can attend the sessions also. Once you feel comfortable that you can follow my sessions and all the things, then only you can register. Okay, right, right. Any questions, guys? Any questions about the AWS or any kind of confusion? Whatever you have, just you can ask me now. Take this opportunity to get some information which might helpful for you to build your career. Okay, this course in the sense it might take minimum 2 months of time to complete all the topics required for what we call that required to complete the solutions architect thing. So it will take 2 months of time minimum. So can I get recorded video of today's lecture? Could you please contact the admin, because I am not sure about that. So just could you please contact the admin? Okay, anyways, you have registered, right? While you are joining this webinar workshop, you might have entered your, what we call that, your email ID and all the things. You might receive a notification on that. So is it required to learn Lambda as a DevOps engineer? Yeah, as a DevOps engineer or as a developer, Lambda is mandatory. How will BA benefit from AWS? Business analyst. I'm not sure what kind of business analyst you are. So generally, the business analyst, what they do is they will analyze the requirements. They will gather the requirements and they will propose the implementations and enhancements to the existing product, right? So in that case, if you have the cloud understanding, you can analyze the applications and enhancements in a better way. So I cannot say only this kind of jobs require cloud. Every job, every technology requires a cloud skills. So will you cover all the topics within 2 months? Sometimes it might extend by 1 more week also. 2 months is the minimum. Then 1 week, because we need to do some kind of a project. Project in the sense, we will take one sample of web application and we will deploy into the cloud using high availability, high scalability, high security, right? So we need to use a lot of components together. So that will take some time. Okay. So minimum is 2 months and it might extend by 1 more week. 2 months, 1 week, but minimum to be 2 months. If someone says like we can complete within 45 days, do not trust. Within 45 days, we can't complete the half of the topics also. Unless each topic in 1 day, then only we can cover like within 45 days. Okay, and also if you have any questions related to course fee structure and all the thing, you can send an email to support@nareshit.com. Support@nareshit.com. But anyways, you guys will receive an email on the email ID which you already provided at the time of joining to this session. Okay, there you can get all the details. So for you guys, let me share my Telegram username and the AWS Telegram group one more time. So if anyone missed to note down, just you can note down. Yeah. So let me go through the chat box one more time. Yeah, requirement management and strategic planning. Yes. In that case, the cloud will help you a better just while you are planning the infrastructure in order to maintain the high availability. These terminologies will be helpful for you. Location of this institute, it is in the Amirpet, like near Satyam Theatre. Without any experience, can we get complete grip on the subject within 2 months? So I will complete the sessions within 2 months. 2 months or 2 months, 1 week, and it might take 1 more month you to complete all the practicals. But from my side, yes, I will give you the complete knowledge from my side, which will give you some kind of 2 to 3 years of experience, kind of a thing. Completely depends on your practice. If you put your efforts, yes, 2 months is enough. 2 months or maximum 3 months is enough for you to make, what we call that, comfortable in the AWS. Database also the same. They database migration. So for that, they provide something called database migration service. So they will create one database in the cloud. They will connect the on-prem cloud with the database cloud, and all the data will be asynchronously replicated. So once everything got replicated, they will disconnect the on-prem database. What is the current market for freshers on AWS domain? Not only on AWS, on every domain as of now, right now. I'm talking about the month of November. In the November and December, every technology will have less job openings. That's a kind of circular thing. Every year, the same thing will happen due to like holidays and everything. But from January, again, it will start. If you are ready in the meanwhile, that will helpful for you. What is the fee that you can check with the admin? Okay, so they will share you an email. Okay, they will share you an email. In that, you will get all the details. But the class timings will be like morning 8:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. maximum. I mean, the next batch, which we are starting from tomorrow. The new batch will start from tomorrow. Okay. Do we have labs to practice after class in NareshIT? Yes, but you have to get your laptop. Mentors will be there. They will help you in doing all the labs, and they will help you if you have any questions. Even if they are unable to do, I mean, if they are unable to explain the concept, explain the practical while you're doing, I will be there to help you out. Yes, obviously. From January, you will get more calls on every technology. I'm not talking about AWS only. For every software technology, generally, by end of October, they will stop the hiring procedure and they will start again after January, mid-January or end of the January. That's a regular procedure. Because most of our Indian companies are working based on the US clients, right? So that's why that kind of is this. Or otherwise, it might like in the March, March, there will be no openings, and then the openings to be started from April or May. Right. Anybody else? Any questions? Okay, but it is huge cost of loading big data to DB, right? So on-prem is better, right? That depends on the company's perspective. The cost-wise, cloud will be easy. Maintenance-wise, the cloud will be easy. Maintenance-wise, the cloud will be easy, right? If you are maintaining everything in your office, everything we should not see with the cost perspective, right? Because if you are wasting the time in maintaining the servers and all the things, right? But by paying some more money extra and you can maintain the same big data cluster in the cloud, you can spend that 5 hours of time or so in expanding your business or developing new tools and all the things. That's how the companies will think about the cloud. Whatever the money they're paying in the cloud, because of the money, they are getting some what we call that, some they are saving some time, right? That saved time will give you more options to enhance your applications or your business. That's how they will earn more. For that, there will be a separate team to analyze all these things and everything. Right. Anybody else? Any questions, guys? Okay, if everyone is clear, let us stop the session here. Raj, unfortunately, today is a workshop, right? So you cannot unmute. So you can use the chat box to ask your questions. Sorry for that. Okay, so I have completed, wait, what happened? I have completed my degree in 2021 and I recently completed DevOps course. What about AWS? Without a cloud, DevOps is not that much completed. AWS is a mandatory. Okay, I think it seems nobody asked a question about what if I am from a non-technical background. That should be the most important question or most commonly used question in my sessions. What if you are from a non-IT background, like you completed your graduation from a non-IT stream? Is this AWS for you or not? What about your answers? If you are from a non-IT background, can I learn AWS or not? Okay, let me tell you about myself. What do you think? What is my background in my studies? So coming to myself, I completed my graduation in electrical and electronics engineering, which is a triple E. Nowhere connected with these computers or a software or IT, right? So your background doesn't matter as far as you are able to learn the things. Okay. So no need to get such kind of questions. No need to take that kind of questions in your mind. So I'm not from IT background. Just consider me. I am from electrical. Nowhere, even I am not from like a MSc degree or a BSc degree. I'm completely from electrical. At least if it is a BSc computers, if it's a degree computers, at least there's the computers, right? And I'm completely from non-IT electrical. So that doesn't matter. So whatever your background is, the ultimate thing is how much uh, skills you earn, how much you learn. Completely based on that, your jobs, your career will be there. So certification that is not mandatory. Okay, frankly speaking, certification is not mandatory. But if you have a certification, that will help you to get better chances. That's it. I do not have hands-on experience. Do the practicals because whatever the topics you covered, like I don't know, like where you completed your DevOps and AWS course and who is your trainer. Okay, just take that notes, whatever you covered in the class, whatever the topics they taught you, they teach you, take those topics and complete the practicals. Example, EC2. In the real time also, you will create the same EC2 instances. But while creating, you have to understand what each option is. Let us say, what is the security group? What the security group contains? What if I don't open RDP traffic? What if I open the RDP traffic from everywhere? What if I open the RDP traffic only from my IP? These kind of questions you have to put on yourself. That's the way how you have to do the practicals. Okay, do that in way you will get the 100% hands-on experience. Yeah, that's okay. 2 years is not that much gap. That's not a problem. 2 years is minimum. If you are from like 4 years, 5 years gap, that might be a problem. But even in that also, if you are able to convince, that is easy. But 2 years is not that much big. Yep. Just you can search with my name. You can see my LinkedIn profile. Just my name. You can get my LinkedIn profile, but you don't see anything in the LinkedIn profile. I don't use that much. I mean, I don't update or I don't do anything on that LinkedIn. Okay. Anybody else? Anybody having any other questions? Okay, and also AWS is providing a free tier account, so no need to worry about, okay, I will get a huge bill and all the things. Okay, Amazon is providing the free tier account, and you can use that free tier account to do all the practicals. And if you are going to enroll in the Naresh IT, they will offer you a sandbox account. They will give you the AWS sandbox account in which you can do the practicals. Okay, if you are learning on your own, or if you're already done with the sandbox environments and all the things, then you can use a free tier account, which is available at free of cost. But you have to follow some rules in order to get not billed. So career gap, just you have to say, right, what we call that. You have to explain why you have a career gap and all those things. What is it? What do you mean by career gap? Like you did some job and then a gap, and then you are doing some kind of, you are planning to do a job. That is what the career gap you're talking about, or after completing your studies, you are having a 4 years gap. Frankly speaking, the career gap, just you can say the exact reason, that would be the good one. The reason is, I have seen few people like they are doing like some kind of fake experience and all the things that won't work now. That won't work now because there are a lot of background verifications are happening, right? That will create unnecessary problem. If you fail in the background verification, that will be a problem for you. So frankly, just you have to explain and you have to convince. But whatever you are going to learn, try to learn that how an experienced guy can work. So that's the way how you can convince the interviewer and you can get a job. Just try to like put your all efforts to learn the thing. Not only AWS, anything, whatever you're going to learn, put all your complete efforts so that you can get or you can earn the maximum skills which might convince the interviewer. That's what I can suggest you. Okay, do some kind of certifications because you have some lot of career gap, right? So do the certification. So these kind of things will help you to fill that career gap. I mean, to convince the interviewer, even though you have some gap, you might worth if they hire you. That's how you have to portray about yourself. It's completely based on like how you look in the sense how your attitude looks to the interview. Okay, then it seems everybody is clear as of now. Let us conclude this session. I hope uh, everyone all the best, and just try to uh, not only this going forward, if you learn AWS and after getting a job also, you have to learn the new things in this competitive market. Every few years a new thing is coming into the market, right? So you have to update yourself. Don't relax, update yourself, and you will get a bright future. Okay, thank you everyone, and all the best for your future. And if you have any questions or any confusion, if you need any guidance, just feel free to reach me on my Telegram. And if you have technical questions about the AWS, you can use that AWS group for the discussions and all the things. Right? Okay. Thank you, everyone.